Imagine you are watching a party from just outside a window. Inside, the room is a whirlwind of flashing lights, loud music, and dramatic confrontations. People are shouting, crying, making out, and breaking things. It's exciting, it's intense, but after a while, it can also feel a little bit exhausting and hard to truly connect to. Then, your eyes land on one person sitting slightly off to the side, maybe on a couch, just watching it all happen with an expression that mixes concern, understanding, and a quiet kind of exhaustion. You instantly feel a sense of recognition. That person is you, in your mind. In the dazzling, often chaotic universe of the television show Euphoria, that person is Lexi Howard. While the show is famously centered on the tumultuous life of her sister Rue and the other glittering, damaged souls at East Highland High School, Lexi operates on a different frequency. She is not the storm, she is the observer of the storm. And it is precisely this role that makes her the most powerful and relatable character for the audience. She is our surrogate, our window into this world, and the mirror in which we see our own quiet selves reflected amidst the noise. To understand why Lexi connects so deeply, we must first look at what she is not. She is not an addict like Rue, grappling with a devastating disease that takes her to terrifying lows. She is not a performer like Cassie, whose entire sense of self is wrapped up in the male gaze and who experiences love as a series of heartbreaking crises. She is not a hardened survivor like Maddy, who wears her confidence like armor, or a trans girl like Jules navigating profound personal and societal challenges. Lexi's life lacks the extreme, plot-driving drama that defines the others. Her problems are, on the surface, remarkably ordinary. She feels overlooked, that sidekick in her own life story. She has a quiet, unspoken crush on her best friend, Fezco, a kind but troubled drug dealer. She worries about her unstable mother and her absent father. She feels the growing distance from her sister, who is lost in her own world of addiction. These are not the makings of a sensational headline, but they are the very fabric of real, everyday anxiety for countless people. Her struggles are with loneliness, with insignificance, with the fear of never being truly seen. When we watch Cassie have a screaming meltdown in a hallway, it is gripping television, but it is not an experience most of us share directly. When we watch Lexi sit alone at lunch, or struggle to say the right thing to Fezco, or feel her heart sink as her sister brushes her off, that is a universal language. That is the quiet ache of being human. Lexi's position as an observer is not passive, it is her superpower. While everyone else is busy being the star of their own chaotic movie, Lexi is the one taking notes, literally and figuratively. She sees the patterns others miss. She remembers the childhood stories, the tiny betrayals, the unspoken family tensions. This makes her the audience's anchor. We experience the chaos of Euphoria through Rue's poetic, drug-fueled narration, but we understand its emotional consequences through Lexi's reactions. When something shocking happens, our eyes often dart to Lexi's face. Her wide-eyed look of concern, her subtle frown of disapproval. Her small, genuine smile, these are our cues for how to feel. She filters the overwhelming sensory overload of the show into a human emotional response we can latch onto. She is not judging from a place of superiority, she is empathizing from a place of confusion and care, just as we are. We are not meant to be Nate Jacobs, with his toxic masculinity and rage. We are meant to watch Nate Jacobs and, like Lexi, try to figure out what is so broken inside him, and worry about the damage he causes. This all culminates in her revolutionary act of self-expression, the play. Our life is not just a plot device, it is the ultimate manifestation of Lexi's role as the audience surrogate. For 2 seasons, she has absorbed the pain, the comedy, the hypocrisy, and the tragedy of her friends' lives. The play is her processing of everything we, the audience, have witnessed. It is her analysis, and crucially, it is how she stops being just an observer and becomes an author. She takes the raw, messy, often painful material of her reality and shapes it into a story to make sense of it all. This is exactly what we do as viewers. We watch these fictional lives, we analyze them, we talk about them with friends, we try to understand the motivations and the themes. Lexi's play is that same impulse, brought to life within the world of the show. When she exaggerates Cassie's drama for comedic effect or holds a mirror up to Nate's aggression, she is doing what every critical viewer does, interpreting and commenting. She is finally using her voice, and her voice is one of clarity and insight earned through years of quiet watching. Furthermore, Lexi represents the quiet majority who live their lives outside the spotlight. In an age of social media where everyone is pressured to curate a dramatic, exciting, perfect persona, Lexi is refreshingly, authentically UN-curated. She doesn't have a brand. She is often awkward, wearing clothes that are sweetly dorky compared to the fashionable ensembles of her peers. Her idea of a big night is working on her script or having a tender, awkward conversation with Fezco. In a show about the performance of identity, Lexi is one of the few characters who isn't performing. She is simply being. This resonates profoundly with anyone who has ever felt like they are not glamorous enough, not dramatic enough, not enough to hold center stage. Lexi validates the experience of the wallflower. She tells us that it is okay to be the one who watches, who listens, who feels deeply but expresses it quietly. Her journey is about learning that this perspective is not a weakness but a source of strength and artistic power. Her courage is not the courage of confrontation but the courage of vulnerability to finally share what she has seen and felt. In the end, Lexi Howard is the heart of Euphoria because she is its conscience and its most human element. The other characters take us to the edge of human experience, showing us the devastating lows of addiction, the fierce heat of violence, and the terrifying depth of obsession. Lexi brings us back home. She grounds the spectacle in recognizable emotion. We see ourselves in her nervousness before a social event, her protective love for a troubled sibling, her secret hopes for romance, and her creative desire to make sense of the world around her. She is not a cautionary tale or a fantasy, she is the girl next door, sitting in the same chaotic world we all navigate, just trying to understand it and find her place. Through her eyes, the glitter and grime of Euphoria become not just a spectacle to gawk at, but a reality to empathize with. She is the quiet friend within the drama, and in her, we find a piece of ourselves, the part that watches, that wonders, that cares, and that, ultimately, seeks to tell our own story, no matter how quiet it may seem.